Welcome back to the Starcraft Remastered launch. I'm here with Artosis and Day 9, and who the fuck is this guy? Noni's here!
It's Noni! Oh!
Wow. I sent an arbiter, it recalled me in.
Yeah.
And popped on here.
We're glad to have you down here, man. How have you been?
Good, great, man. I was watching yesterday. You guys look like you were having a great time. I was like, I got to be there.
Yeah, well, we're happy to have you here. And
Yes,
He likes you. Oh, my God.
The dog is back.
He's a sick Noni fan. He watched TSL 2 the whole way.
Oh, my God. Yeah, for any of you who do not know this man, Noni is – I got this covered. He is the #1 foreigner of all time. And by foreigner, I mean non-Korean, because Korea was the mecca of Brood War, and Noni was the only one who was legitimately the best outside of Korea.
We had Noni in Korea for a while.
I appreciate
Yes. He went. There is a video online that can still be found, I believe, on YouTube, following a run through Courage where he made the finals.
That Courage is a tournament you had to play in order to get a professional gamer license in Korea.
By far the best anyone ever did in
That's
Courage.
Right. Let's keep praising him. Let's make this really weird. Like, Noni signed my mouse pad.
He was the most precise player. He took studying build orders to a new level by mapping out time with a clock, because we never had a timer in the game.
He's very handsome. He's got a very good smile.
His buildings were always in the same place.
He played,
I know.
Always.
Every time.
He plays a lot of games, but he's kind of athletic too.
Yeah, look.
That's true. He runs.
Bring
He's
your
a
calves
runner.
up on screen. Look at
Oh my God! Look at these powerful moose legs.
That's incredible.
Wow.
And you know what? The greatest thing about him, he's a great friend.
He's a nice man. He's a good person.
He is going to hold your hand through this PvP that we have coming up.
That's right.
Legionnaire versus G5.
Now, before you say anything, because you really haven't got the chance to talk yet.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, he's not actually going to talk during this whole thing. We're just going to Noni's really excited about these openers, guys. He's nodding his head. He's doing golf claps.
Oh, and here Noni would talk about the Reavers, I think, and like how he could have done more damage.
Probably say he made one zealot too many at the start of the game, but I mean, it's Noni. What are you going to do, guys?
Oh, man. Dude. All right.
All right, go ahead. You can say something now.
Noni,
you have the conch.
Ready?
Go ahead.
It's like, well, there's nothing to say. There's like 6 probes. Like,
well, we've got G5 spawning at 6 o'clock, and we've got Legionnaire. Is that how you say it?
Legionnaire.
I heard
we need in control back here.
It's LEGIONNAIRE?
LEGIONNAIRE!
Anyway, he's spawning in the other spot, so I mean, it's a visual game, so you can see for yourself.
Yeah.
You should have been a commentator, actually. This is very clear to me right now.
G5 had 8 probes, but if Noni was playing, he would have already had 9.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, so Tyler, you're really precise with your thoughts on build orders and build orders themselves. Yeah. What do you feel like are some of the most important concepts in the opening that you really like, things you really need to worry about, stuff you want to make sure you don't mess up?
In the opening, you want to map out. Okay, that's noted. Thank you, Legionnaire. In the opening, you want to map out each threat that you can expect to encounter, like, one by one, and then you want to make sure your build order has a way to handle each one of those things. So anytime you're, like, working on a build order and you're trying to figure out, is this actually going to work, or is this a really cheesy build order and I'm trying to get away with something, you might not even know it until somebody does something. You're like, oh, wow, I had no idea that my build can't deal with this. So then you have to adjust. So the way I did it was, in single player, I would just imagine all the threats and I would map it all out. And usually I could just bring a build like to a tournament or the ladder and it would be pretty good. Or I would just copy what a Korean did, not fully understanding it, but just going with it and using that as a starting point.
Yeah, and some of the ways that people used to do timings in the days of Brood War Yore is you would do it based upon how much gas you had left in your gas geyser, because that was a consistent timer that would tick down, or how much minerals were at an expansion. So you do things like, okay, this timing push is good when, if you had a normal game, you have 1,000 minerals left on this mineral patch, then you just attack. Or you'd say things like, when my layer is halfway done, their starport should be having its dropship about halfway done. And there's a double gate opening that's coming up out of Legionnaire. We saw Draco doing this a little bit. What do you think about this opening?
So I think when you're playing with some rustier players who are not quite ready to micro perfectly while macroing perfectly, building zealots and just throwing them in their face is a really good strat. So I feel like this is a good strat for the circumstances. I'm not sure it's like optimal, among the best players, but I haven't been watching a lot of games, so I couldn't really say.
That's very Legionnaire style too. He's like a very cognitive player that tries to judge where people are at and how he can abuse them. So makes sense.
Well, Python has painfully close attack positions.
Especially these two spots. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Yeah,
there.
if you're one zealot short,
Like especially cross spawns. Those are.
Oh, so this is a cool little trick. The probes can attack over the zealots just barely. So what G5 is trying to really cut corners here, and PvP a lot of times is just a matchup about cutting corners, but Legionnaire seems to be in pretty good shape here. This is going to be very tough for G5. He has to control perfectly.
Oh, that was nice. He runs
Chest
up.
bump.
Yeah, he nuzzles the zealot, which gives it a little bit of a heart palpitation. Then he stops,
So
then moves again.
you right-click one zealot on the Dragoon, and then you just have the other two zealots go ham on the probes.
Yeah, and it looks like one probe's down. He needs about 3 or 4 for it to be technically equalized, but you know, he's bought himself some good time. Just great control out of G5.
Nice micro.
Now G5 has way more gas, so he has a lot more options, and he can proceed to the next stage of the game with a lot more comfort, being able to get all the tech that he wants.
Is this too much gas? I always feel uncomfortable if my minerals and gas aren't like both very low at the same time.
It goes away pretty fast when the robo comes up. He might have a little bit extra, but yeah, I mean, once you get the robo and the start making reavers or try to get observers, this gas goes away almost immediately.
Dude, Noni, you gonna be playing Brood War?
I might hop on a little bit.
Are you coming back,
Might
Noni?
You got to do it, man. We're gonna restart the practice group. It's gonna be fun.
Uh-oh. A little 1v1 play ops.
Yeah.
Do we all have to install Ventrilo again?
Yes, of course. People are saying Discord. I don't even know what that is, man.
Yeah.
I think that's a bad guy.
We're
in My
going to be
Little
messaging
Pony.
each other on AOL Instant Messenger to get this whole thing going.
Yeah, no. Here, what's
Gotta
your
do it.
MSN?
What's your ICQ,
ICQ.
number?
Mine was very low.
Mine too. I had like a 6-digit.
Damn.
Hardcore.
That's
This guy is so old school. Wow. You're so old school.
You're so cool. I'm like, yeah, thanks, guys.
Artosis. He's our tough friend.
By the way, you see this a lot in PvP, putting the Dragoons at the bottom of the ramp. It's so hard to run down. But those are actually far back enough he wasn't able to punish it. If you have him scooted up just a little bit more, you can get off a lot of free pot shots and still run away. But G5 was doing that with the bare minimum. So in a situation like this, Noni, now that we have you captive here, you got two guys basically going towards almost the exact same place, right? They're going for probably shuttle reaver Dragoons, right?
Yeah.
When would you want to expand in a situation like this? This is kind of one of the age-old questions of PvP. Is like, do you keep powering up and wait for them to expand, or is there like a specific time where you want to try to sneak in a Nexus?
I prefer to try to expand a little bit sooner and then build the Reavers without a shuttle right away. And that way you get a Nexus sooner, and you can basically have, once they finally get on offense, you have basically the same amount of units as they do. And so as long as you can defend, as long as being in a defensive position is not a disadvantage where like they can use their Reavers really well on your clumped up units, then you're just going to get ahead that way.
Oh, Legionnaire always loves to do this. He's like, oh, this is an island here. Let's just get a probe up there.
Yeah, I almost forgot about the islands on this map in a PvP, but this is one of these funny things you can do because you can basically at least safely get the Nexus up almost always right away. And that island's actually in such an awkward location, it's kind of hard to get anything over there.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to shuttle 2 Dragoons over there, they got to go all the way around the map and everything.
Especially because it's Legionnaire.
Oh,
like,
dude,
this
he's
guy
double
just,
expanding.
He just
Legionnaire's
goes
crazy.
shuttle all the time.
Look at this guy.
This is
Okay, now,
cute.
This, I mean, Noni, tell me if you disagree with me, but this is sort of not supposed to work, 2 Nexuses like this, but it's possible G5.
3 Nexuses!
Oh my God! If he expands back here, then he is my hero. Come on.
Oh,
He's
no,
going to do
he's
it.
gonna
He's
pile
doing
on.
it.
No,
Look at his
come on,
minerals.
No, he's not
getting
going
up.
to. No, he's not
Yes,
going to
he
make. Come
is.
on,
Come on, do it.
No,
He's
gonna do it.
He's going to do it.
No,
He is going to do it.
Go back to the bottom left. I don't care about this. Go Barrett.
He's not going to do it. No, he's not going to do it.
Okay.
He's not going to do it.
He might
He's
have
not gonna
minerals.
do it.
Then what is that for?
Dude, he is
I don't know
going
why.
to do it.
I don't know why he
Okay,
mined the
let's go
mineral
to the
though.
front.
If he wasn't going to do it, but
No, yeah. He's going to do it eventually. Maybe not right now because he's being attacked. He would have done it if
He's
G5
going to
wasn't
cancel it
attacking.
and turn in the other Nexus. Oh my gosh.
It's one of these moments where you
This
got
is
to wonder
brilliant.
if it would have been better
This
To
is
just like
brilliant.
wait for that to finish and then come up.
All right, well, looks like the top right expansion should be almost done right now. G5 is going to think that he's in an enormously advantageous position because he now has this ramp. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Noni, but I think this is the worst situation to be in PvP ever is when you're locked inside your own base on your ramp.
It is uncomfortable, but you can also use it to your advantage because they're so focused on holding your ramp. And
There it is, bottom left. Doesn't even matter what you have to say. Look at that.
No!
Expansion.
G5 is
I applaud
sending
this.
a shuttle up to that top right, though.
Why?
This is great. I love that
I
expand.
can't believe he's taking that.
You
bet.
never scout that.
Legionnaire
But
anticipated.
you might expand there.
He anticipated G5 finding this. That's why he's taking bottom left.
Oh, he's target. Oh, that was really nice.
Oh
He
my
loses the
God.
shuttle. He loses the shuttle. Oh my God.
Wow,
G5
that-
doing really nice micro.
That totally didn't go right.
That was kind of crazy. Well, he's gonna have the Reaver come down. This is harder than it looks because the Reaver tends with its AI
They don't
to
like to
want to
attack
walk.
south.
You actually have to
Yeah.
like sometimes tell it to stop.
Yeah.
Well, he's got an observer, I think, just a little bit to the left of G5's contain there.
Oh yeah.
And so what he should be doing is if he could get a shuttle out, he can start harassing the Dragoons from the left there. That's what I would do.
Or you would expand to his island.
Yeah.
The thing is,
Noni would have already had an expansion and containing G5 at the bottom. Let's be perfectly honest.
I
here.
think
Whoa,
G5
Legionnaire lost it.
G5 just spent more minerals on
Oh my
scarabs
God.
than the Nexus cost.
oh, no. Is he gonna find this?
Did he really?
No.
No. Okay. I was like, they're only 15 minerals. That's like a hell of a. How much health does a Nexus have? I knew they had too much health.
Day9, we can hear you drinking that coffee.
Yeah.
It sounds very weird in our ears.
I like it.
It's really good. It's really good. I'm on my second coffee right now. I don't know about you guys, but I drink a lot of coffee. And like
Yeah?
sometimes when it's like Saturday and I don't have any work, I wake up and we're just hanging out and I feel sort of empty and sad. I'm just like, oh my gosh, do I derive my purpose in life only from doing shows and working on projects? What am I? And then I'm like, oh wait, I just didn't drink coffee. And then I have like 3 cups
Yeah,
of
then you're
coffee.
like,
and
oh,
I'm
I
like,
feel
oh, I have a caffeine
I
dependency.
actually-
It's great.
Okay, he's actually
Oh, what an error.
going to be trying to take out the shuttle. I don't know if he can get the
Oh,
Oh.
That's very good. But
He
the
needs-
Reaver's been getting a lot of pot shots off.
He
and
needs
he's
to
not
target
firing, yeah.
everything, yeah, with that Reaver. Okay, he gets
Oh.
it.
And it looks like G5.
Whoa, 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 that's
oh,
crazy.
G5 sees the
Oh, that
weakness
was.
and he
I
sprints
can't believe he went for that, but I get the idea. He saw there was enough units over there. He thought maybe the base was more exposed than it actually was.
Well, looks like he has probes being constructed at that bottom left, and Legionnaire does this in all matchups. Even in pro matches, he would just hide expansions, sneak things, do these weird, funky plays. And what's interesting about it is that it forces really precise unit allocation, where, you know, if we saw G5 fall for it, he saw that there were a lot of Dragoons up at the top base and bombed in the front of Legionnaires with only Dragoons and got an unfavorable exchange because there was a Reaver there from Legionnaire. So I think that this is a really interesting test of a certain kind of skill.
I think pretty soon, actually, Legionnaire could just run down the ramp,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? He's going to have enough. Oh, maybe.
Not,
It would-
not
it would-
quite
it would
yet,
not
but
be- yeah,
when he brings his shuttle over, he'll be able to
Yeah.
break out. Well, I don't think he's under a rush because he has 2 bases making probes right now, so it's like to attack down now doesn't make sense. G5, like, I don't think G5 will really commit to the top right again. And then, like, the bottom left he doesn't know about, so Legionnaire's just gaining value sitting there.
Look at G5. He's like, he probably hit a base. He's like looking around the map. His base is right under his nose.
Then he scouts behind his minerals because it's Python and there's a Nexus in his main. Oh my god!
I think he's going to elevator. I think
Is he
that's a
gonna do it
shuttle
again?
flying up,
Oh,
and he's
God.
going to elevator a bunch of Dragoons in.
Again?
I don't know.
I mean,
You got to be careful. When Legionnaire gets speed shuttles, you don't want to play shuttle tag with him, man. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
that's
the king of it.
That was a problem.
Oh, no! Run! Oh, my God, it got away!
That's so crazy. If that was White
Don't-
Rose shuttle, it'd be dead.
don't. What are you?
He was like thinking about going back and getting it.
Oh my god.
Oh. Are we serious with this right now?
This is crazy.
6 HP.
So a lot of times you want to try to sneak out of a corner and drop the Reavers or ferry them down onto the low ground, but G5 is like totally on top of this. The weird thing is G5, because G5's contain has been so good, he's basically assuming that he's either even or ahead of his opponent. But what's weird about this is Legionnaire has this additional base at the bottom left, which might throw G5's tempo off on where he thinks this game is going.
Look at G5's base he's taking, though, in the top left here.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Noni?
He's trying to be Legionnaire.
He wants to be Legionnaire so bad. Legionnaire's like, you're never going to be Legionnaire, mate. Am I as good as Jeff, guys?
It's uncanny.
Awesome.
That Australian impression is uncanny, Artosis.
Yeah.
So as cool as what Legionnaire is doing is, he's not. He's still not gotten a very good like operational economy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason standard is because when you deviate from it, you can sometimes just get punished by someone who's just doing better control with more conservative placement.
Ooh. Oh! 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 Nice hit. Attack it! Don't run. It's got 4 HP. All right. Well, he did still lose a lot of probes, though, in that process.
Yeah, that was rough. But he still has that bottom left.
He's got a huge bank, too.
Yeah, I mean, like, this matchup.
He needs more gates.
This is probably my worst matchup.
Thanks, Stacy.
That's what I'm here for, guys. If you have any more questions, you let me know. I'm over here on the couch.
Hey, Noni, I just want to confirm, should Legionnaire spend his money?
He probably should.
It doesn't carry over into the next game, guys.
Do you see this? This is why I love G5. No one has ever done this. We've never seen a shield battery there. In the like 50 million games on Python, that's the first time a shield battery's been there.
Shield battery.
Yeah, no, I'd say, the shield batteries are weird too because the unit that is receiving the shield healing can't attack. So it's just like, hey.
Well, he'll solve that by healing the shuttle.
Yeah, I think it's actually just there for the shuttle. Okay, he's going to try to bust down, though. No Reaver here paired with this, so the Zealots are just going to force the Dragoons away. Legionnaire has finally been unleashed on this map.
Well, he's going to... Wait, let's go to the shield battery. Go to the shield battery as a healing.
No, it doesn't have that much range. I think it's just out of range.
Damn.
To actually heal any Dragoons on the low ground.
See, he should have made it to the right a little bit more.
Yeah, he should have, man.
See, if I was playing this game, my shield battery would be up against the edge.
Yeah, exactly. Some pro moves.
And Legionnaire would be so confused. He's like, why do they keep sparkling? What's going on?
This is kind of a funny little skirmish over here, as they're both, because you can only fit 2 Dragoons into a shuttle. It's such a, you do so much heavy lifting whenever you're trying to get these things ferried over here.
Yeah, Dragoons and shuttle look like you trying to
go to the battery. Look at that!
Oh my God! You know what? Like, if there was an observatory next to that shield battery, this would be single player.
So, what?
No, nobody. Okay, that's cool too.
God.
No, that's cool, guys. That's fine.
This is a lot of Zealots. Like, if you're G5, you are not expecting this.
G5's probably like, how does he have this much money?
Yeah, I mean, and the Dragoons are actually going to be able to walk away from this.
Here's what's going to happen is Legionnaire's going to drive him all the way back to his base, and then G5's going to say, well, I guess I got to take the island. Hilarity ensues.
And that's where he finds it.
Yeah, that's where he finds it. And then it's suddenly G5 trying to shuttle all his stuff over there.
Then he builds a shield battery in his main base to try to break it.
Yeah, and we're like, my God, the circle is complete. Well,
look at that supply difference, though. 83 to 134. What?
Thing is, Legionnaire had so many workers die, I'm not clear on how big his army actually is.
Yeah.
His army actually might be almost the same size as G5's.
Could be. No.
I mean, G5 is just...
No, not quite. Not quite.
G5 just played fundamentally more sound throughout this, although part of me was rooting for Legionnaire because, took the bottom left base, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at there it is.
It's a wonderful thing to watch.
Oh, he should not be scooting out like this. Oh, here we go. Oh! Shuttle interject. Okay. Legionnaire is processing this loss.
Let's see the heartbreak.
Oh, the pain.
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Don't do that.
It's okay, Legionnaire.
Legionnaire.
Oh,
man. Oh.
Let's take a look at our winner.
I'm crazy.
Oh, man.
He's got beautiful teeth, by the way.
Yes, and beautiful eyes.
Yeah.
He's just...
That's a good beard, too. I like how it doesn't have gray like your beard.
Yeah, well, he's not as seasoned as me. I'm a little bit more presidential.
Yeah, you are,
as
actually.
a caster, yeah.
The thing that...
Well, that was the problem. He was wearing his headphones wrong.
You don't hear through your eyebrow.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
The thing that's really fun to watch with weird strategies like that is it wasn't that, oh, that strategy, there was a problem with just choosing to do that. There's like 50 little things that you can do. I like what Draco said, that, you know, Brood War is like a game of mistakes. You watch any game, and there's like 1,000 things that you see. You're like, oh, I could have done that better. Oh, I could have done that better. And the thing that's really funny is that most of the high-level strategies that exist right now were things that you were not supposed to do. Like expanding versus Zerg with no wall in, 1 Marine, command center on low ground. No, you do that because what if Zergs go for 9 pool and 12 pool? And the answer is, oh, you just cancel it, hold it off, and expand, and you're ahead economically. Like, this is what, like, Flash was really instrumental in showing. You just keep doing these thin stretch builds, and you can make almost anything work. You remember when he was going, like, 2 Factory Goliath, 3 Barracks Marine versus Zerg?
Oh, God.
You remember this?
It's ringing like a small bell. I don't remember a specific game.
He was saying that I have like a special strategy, and he would like say percents. Like, I think that this is 30% ready, but I'm trying it today. And then like the next interview, he's like, I believe it is 60% ready. Like it's like he was baking, you know, a pie or some shit.
Yeah.
But he had this like really wacky like 1 Factory, 1 Barracks, Marine Medic, Goliath build that he would do versus
Okay,
Zerg.
I'm starting to remember a little bit.
Yeah, and he eventually just went back to SK Terran style, and then eventually the Bio and MX style. But
well, people start blind countering his Goliaths, man.
yeah, actually that is true. But I mean, it's just so cool how you can see the accumulation of small efficiencies can make something seemingly nutty like what Legionnaire is doing actually legitimate. Like, I want to try to do what Legionnaire did now and just try to practice
I couldn't
that.
believe he made the Nexus there. I was just like...
yeah.
This is why I always land an eBay at the base behind me.
Yeah, just in case.
We saw that, dude. You actually mined out the mineral where the Nexus goes so you could land an engineering bay on top of it.
Is that... yeah. Wait, no. He dropped a probe and mined that mineral. Why would I mine the mineral? You can land the eBay close to the minerals, right?
Yeah, you can land the eBay and still block the Nexus.
Just let it. Just let this. Just let this
Okay, I'm sorry.
We got Legionnaire in the bottom left and G5 in the top right.
Legionnaire, very fitting at the bottom here, as he is from the land down under. I write my own jokes, guys.
Wow.
I write my own jokes.
Take it one step further, Nick.
I'm like Foster's Australian beer. You know, I've actually found this hilarious thing out that if you, because you know, Foster's is not, they don't have Foster's in Australia, or they didn't when it came out, right? But one of the easiest ways to tilt an Australian person is to be like, I really like Foster's.
Is that so?
They get super.
Yeah,
they're like, it's not even in Australia.
Yeah.
It's not even in Australia.
Pardon me.
We need in control back here with the Australian accents. We're so bad at this.
No, mine is okay.
Mine was...
I'm not going to do it again, but
Dan's, yours is just
Mine was
unreal.
good.
You
Mine was
actually
good.
morph into an Australian when you do yours, Artosis.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So that pylon's in the wrong spot. I know exactly where a pylon should go on this
Savage
map.
burn. Savage.
That's not where I placed my
I love
pylon.
this. See, Noni, I'm in the same position because my hand's broken, and so I can't play. So all I can do is sit here and backseat game. Like, I would have done that differently.
In our practice group so long ago, this used to be like a running joke because we'd watch Noni play his games, and every game in the matchup on the position on the map, every building would be exactly in the same place. So I came up with this strat that, like, I just send out one of my first 4 SCVs and hold position it where the first pylon goes, and Noni rage quits.
Wait, I don't know what to do! Wait a minute. Which spot are you saying the pylon's in the wrong place?
This one. Well,
here.
technically both of them, but this one stands out to me more. Too close
Where's
to
it
the Nexus.
supposed to be?
I would space it out from the Nexus more like that one.
Now, is this because...
Do you always want the core there next to the gas, by the way? Does that actually make it mine a little bit more effectively? Or
Yeah.
don't the probes like bounce off the core when it's finished or something like that?
if it's one spot to the left, they'll bounce off the core, but that's the correct spot.
No, there it is.
Yeah.
I saw it bounce.
He's like, well, no, he's okay. Ready? Oh, there he is. Excuse me.
It's like every third mining.
Yeah.
Wait, no? Yeah, okay.
It's still the
Hold
right
on.
spot.
We can zoom in on there too, right?
Oh, there it is.
There he goes.
There's that little bounce.
God, that's
Right.
7
But hey, as long as he's there by the time
Here-
the other
here
guy
goes.
pops out, you're fine.
This one's going to do it.
That's the spot to maximize efficiency, though.
Well, now he needs a pylon to the right there so that bounce doesn't happen. The probe just, like, ricochets in.
When you guys got back into playing Brood War, did you do some of these moves? You're like, oh, I know how to do this to make the mine faster, and then the building finishes and the probes are popping out on the other side of the
God, it's the
assimilator, and you're like,
worst.
oh, I'll just leave now. That's when I turn off my computer and I got to tell my opponent lightning struck my house or something.
Oh my.
Now, Legionnaire on this map can't hide a base in the same way he could on on Python.
I actually do want to come back and ask Noni about these pylon placements. Is that you want the spacing to be able to run probes from Reavers, but then also get your Dragoons into the back of your base? Like, what are some of the considerations there? Yeah.
Yeah, I think you need to leave some alleys open for your Dragoons to be able to get where they need to go.
Actually, one thing that's really important to note, go over to G5's main base, like right over his mineral patch. If you box your workers and you tell them to go mine at your natural expansion, notice this path right between the cybernetics core and the nexus. Your probes will form a line in there when they're running to the left, and if a Reaver is shooting any probe except for the very back one, the Scarab will be forced into a line behind the probes, and the Reaver shot will never explode. So like that building placement basically lets you never lose probes to Reavers if you react quickly enough.
Wow. That was actually pretty sick.
Yeah, that's a good explanation.
Noni's just mind is blown right now.
Well, that's why Noni drops a Reaver in the front, too, so when they're running.
Yeah.
What are you going to do there, Day 9? He calls it the triangle attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
He calls it the Bermuda Triangle because all the probes disappear.
No, I do the boxer where you drop one Reaver out of vision, and then you go around with your shuttle and you fly it in from a different angle. They retreat all the probes from the shuttle straight into the Reaver that's waiting right out of vision.
It's brilliant.
So this game looks standard, but knowing these players, it's going to get weird at some point. And once it gets weird, they need to be decisive and unpredictable. So like last game, I thought G5's contain was a liability, and I really think if Legionnaire, instead of focusing on defending his bases, just looked for a good exchange by busting that contain, Legionnaire probably would have won. And I think G5 probably could have just accepted Legionnaire's bases and taken normal expansions and been ahead in tech and economy. But he's a beast, and he was aggressive, and it worked out. But in this game, I feel like they'll each have opportunities to get easy wins if they can find the right thing to do in the heat of the moment.
I feel like, especially if they both have to just engage each other with Dragoons and Reavers, even as good as Legionnaire is, I think G5 might just be better at that overall. I played G5 a lot in PvP. He's a really good Dragoon Reaver control, and he knows he's a lot more deceptive than a lot of other Protosses on where he gets the Reaver set up to hit you at a weird side.
Oh man, Nick, do you remember when you were running that one gate Zealot into immediate expand build?
Yeah, that was kind of like it was sort of like a gimmick, but the thing is that you know, some of these builds, like you can do them, and if somebody plays really good players all the time, they don't know what to do if you do something like that. Was it the one where I make I make a Nexus or something, a gateway, and I rush with the Zealot and make a Nexus? And
then you would go like Pylon, Gate, Zealot, Nexus, Zealot, Core.
Yeah. And then you got to figure out, okay, like how are they teching hard off this? And then there's like a couple branches in there. I don't know if it's actually like viable anymore, but
I mean
that's because why I was doing that is because I didn't want to go Dragoon Reaver. I got so frustrated with having to just have my games boiled down to Dragoon Reaver fights that I started getting really weird and out there with these builds that yeah.
Nick, do you remember when it was on Shin Peaks of Baekdu where you had this cannon rush, this tasteless special?
Oh my god!
Was that against Noni or was that against G5?
It was against Noni. I did it to Noni and I did it to G5. There's this build that I had. You could only do it one time. You could only do it one time, and it was the sickest cannon rush.
Yeah. I remember that game very well.
Yeah. And then I did it to G5, only then he started cannon rushing behind me and my minerals.
Yes, I remember that. Oh my god.
I don't know if we'll ever have that. If we can find that replay, but maybe one of us.
No, I think it's lost to time.
Hold on.
Great angle right there from Legionnaire.
Well, it did not get as many kills as I thought, though.
But that was a great angle to sweep in at.
He's so good with speed shuttles.
But yeah, that build, I got I found out that a forge and a core put in a certain corner.
It's so hilarious.
Nothing
to wall
could
with
get
the
through
core
it.
on a cannon
and then
rush.
I run into their base, and I put it on low ground in this weird corner, and then I just run in with a probe. And the cannon's already done low ground. I start making cannons there while my Zealot runs in from into his main and starts hitting stuff. No. That's why I never won WCGs. I was doing these stupid builds that were never going to work in the long run, guys. It was just...
Yep.
Dude, it is an entirely different world doing a cheesy one-time build versus like trying to win a
Yeah,
tournament.
just like, okay,
Yeah.
we got to
Like,
spend our money and get good at moving across the map with Reavers and Dragoons.
yeah, but God, is it fun when you do that super
Oh, it's so
stupid
rewarding.
cheesy thing? I remember there's a build that I actually worked really hard on to make really legit, which was a 7-pool opening on Azalea. And I was playing against you, Noni, and you're the only Protoss player in the universe that opens 2-gate.
I remember that.
And I get there, and there's just like a Zealot and 2 more vets pop out, and I'm like, all right, good game.
I remember that. I remember figuring out, like, oh, I can go 2-gate on this map, and it actually is pretty solid against everything, and it actually just, like, outright wins games against some tendencies that Zergs like to do. And here we go!
Oh. Wait, what? You get like 1 probe?
Wow! G5's target firing was exceptional there. Because, I mean, a lot of times you get freaked out about the shuttle, and Legionnaire protected the shuttle properly, but the target firing in G5 just picks off the Reaver, and then instant counter push. I mean, G5 is doing these moves that are like hallmark strong player things, like nice defense, instant counter push.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I feel that.
Legionnaire might just get pushed here. Wait, does he have a Reaver back at the natural?
He has one.
He has 1.
He needs some pylons out there on the bridge. G5
Yeah.
actually built one. They can really mess with the attacking army.
Okay, now the
Oh,
Reavers want to
no.
target the other Reavers.
Oh, gosh.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I think G5 just takes
Yeah,
this one, man.
seems
The
that way.
Reavers are in a really good spot here. Here come the probes. Let's see how probes fare against Scarabs, guys. Oh, okay, not so well. Oh, but you know
Legionnaire
what?
right there,
Legionnaire.
a
Legionnaire. He's got that one Reaver stuck over there. He doesn't have any Scarabs left in it now. So he's going to try to drop the main. I actually can't believe Legionnaire held that. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. There's nowhere to... What? Did he target the gate?
Oh! Oh.
Did he target the gate?
I think
I
he
think
did.
he actually right-clicked on the gate accidentally.
Was this purposeful so that he didn't hit the day 9 probe hallway and not hit anything?
That's exactly what he was doing. He's going for an intimidation tactic where you get the shields a little bit lower and they go, damn, he's good.
No, to have this much.
No, it's to force them to blow up on the gateway so they don't get glitched and pop.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
but why wouldn't you just click on the probes if they're there like that?
Well,
is
well,
the
if they
are the
run
corners
through.
of the gates that sticky for the Scarabs?
Well, it's that if you hit on a probe and it is even a few pixels away from the probe that it's targeting, but it doesn't hit the probe, it will eventually just pop as a dud and deal no damage to anything. But if you right-click the gateway, it guarantees that it will connect to something, and likely the splash will pick off.
That's
the probes.
interesting. Okay, I
Yeah.
thought you guys were just trying to be funny, and I'm like, yeah, guys, I'm funny too. But apparently you guys are trying to be smart, and I'm like, oh, okay.
So Tasus is funny but not smart.
No,
Okay,
this
we
is just-
solved that.
What is this? By the way, man, G5 taking to third base here. I thought he was going to end that game with that push, but he's still, I think, as far as macro goes overall.
Yeah, he
Just
just keeps
really
out
good.
supplying at Legionnaire. It's-
Yeah, I mean, it's always a real treat when you're watching a good player play, where they just have all these moves that they're making that are just, you know, compounded awesomeness. You know, he picks off that shuttle with very good defense, immediately counter pushes, which means he could probably win, and it doesn't work out, but then he has the third base up and more gateways coming.
So this is a mistake, I think, for G5 to move out. Right now, I think he should be going for Storm and defending against drops, because he's way ahead, and that's the way to get more ahead.
So you're saying when someone gets ahead, they should get more ahead?
Yeah, they should.
Not just go kill him?
No. Because some probes are about to die.
Interesting.
At the
Now, what's that
natural
drop
probes?
doing? What? Drop! Ah! There's no probes! Did that Reaver shoot a nuke?
Yeah, actually, did he?
We don't know if he got any kills. If we
I
can
don't
click on the
That's
Reaver
a
later,
lot
we
of
can find out
probes
if there's
there.
kills there.
That is quite a few
Oh,
probes.
meanwhile.
Yeah, meanwhile, G5, he's just bringing the noise at the main base.
Well, this is the problem. Is sometimes if they do Reaver drop you, you can actually just attack them because they don't have
And
the
win
same
the
number of Reavers back at home. But is he actually going to be able to bust him here? Now that Reaver's still back over there. 4 kills, by the way, so I got some probes. Oh, he didn't pick it up in time. Oh!
Wow.
Damn,
Jeez.
Legionnaire.
That Reaver.
All right, let's.
The Reavers are a lot bigger in Australia, guys. Crazy. Okay, here we go.
Oh my God.
Oh man, that's painful.
Oops. That's painful too.
I kind of agree with what you're saying, though, Noni. The thing with G5 though is that he's like one of these guys that kind of attacks a lot of times when other people wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know, but he's so good at controlling that it sort of works out.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a whole set of Protosses that like to attack when it's like
They
an
just
odd
go
timing.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he might just barely not have
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
That's going to be a GG.
GG.
Wow.
A strong showing from Legionnaire, but G5 just playing really nicely.
Yeah. G5. Bring it over. Get that nerd.
All right, I'm out of here, guys.
All right, let's lose the tasteless.
Yeah, we're going to be one Protoss less.
But what if we need someone that's funny?
All right, but
You guys are in trouble then. All right, I'm out of here.
all right, he's leaving.
Come G5.
Someone help him remove
Come
his
hither,
headset.
you G5.
Come on, sit by us.
Good job.
Thank you.
GG.
GG.
Did you? When did you find out about the expo behind your base?
When I flew there. No, he was hiding. Well, it's kind of been a joke since we've been here that he's been hiding bases.
Yeah.
Constantly, that's sort of his thing. And so he picked Python. That was his pick for the first map. So I figured, well, he's going to be taking the island at some point, so I might as well drop Dragoon in there, and I'll sit. And if there was nothing there, I would sit there and with my shuttle, I was already outside of his ramp, so if he tried busting it, I'd come in and kill the probe
Wait,
line.
did you know about the expansion behind your base that he took?
No.
Okay, that's what I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
asking.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about top right.
He took,
no, I had no
he
idea.
took the base behind your base as well as his own island
This is the
expansion.
first time I've learned
After
about
you
that.
canceled his natural, he took it. Like he had it forever, full of probes. Nothing there.
Wow. All right.
That's how he
See,
had so
that's
much
what we're
stuff.
saying. He's hiding bases all over the place.
yeah.
This is Legionnaire. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, what about these big attack timings? Like, you seem to really like to attack when a lot of people like to just sit and defend. What's up with that?
Well, it's the way
Justify
the way you
yourself.
put it. It just sounds like I'm bad. So I don't know. It just feels right. So I attack. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just I mean I have it. Honestly, like I'm just happy playing this game. It's so great being back. I haven't played a tournament like this in 7 years, and the graphics are so great and gameplay so great. It's great being here and seeing everyone again. Like I'm just happy playing, and yeah, whether good games or bad games, I just do my thing, and I have no justification
build
for
stuff.
it.
Do well.
Just
Okay,
build stuff.
I'm curious. Like, because
Yeah.
for me, what I love about Brood War is just how fun it is to hit the buttons. Like, just when you have 4 control groups and you're like 1 click, 2 click, 3 click, 4 click, that just feels good on my hands.
See, my favorite thing is just the back and forth, right? So like other games can end in a moment, and Brood War, I mean, it technically can. Lynx can run by my cannons, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, there it goes. But, I mean...
I wasn't going to say it. I wasn't going to say it.
You hear the hollow voice of Nick like, and they don't have speed on the legs.
There's 18 of them.
Yeah. The number varies between 14 and 22. He's picked each one up there.
Yeah, but I mean, it is. It's very back and forth, and even when you fall behind, there always seems to be a way to come back. Like, I felt like I was ahead in the first game against the Legionnaire. I had no idea they had an expansion back there. Very, very possible he could have came back. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I just love this game, and I'm happy being here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What is like a favorite moment of yours from the Brood War of the past? Like growing up playing Brood War.
Personally?
Yeah, like a tournament you attended or a game that you watched of like a Korean pro, or a time when LZ Gamer did the Ling attack and you held it off.
Well, that's always the best, yeah.
You screenshotted it and sent it up to
My
Mediafire.
My favorite moment, honestly, was not particularly a game. It was more a story about Dan. We were in we went to IEF, and we were all in Korea.
Oh, yeah.
And
Intel Extreme Fasters.
I think think it was International Esports Festival.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a bunch of us foreigners all flew out there. I think Phoenix took like 2 days to get there because he missed a plane or something.
Yeah. God,
And-
that poor kid.
Was Phoenix Peru?
Yeah.
Yeah. Took him like 2 days. But anyways, we all fly out there, and there's like 4 Koreans, right? There was like Bisu, Effort, Boxer, and
Can't
Stork.
remember the other.
Stork.
Okay.
And so like we're all stoked to be there, and they tried making us do a best of one, just single elimination. So, and Dan just gets up there like while we're like picking like who's gonna, they're like drawing cards on who's gonna. He's just like, no, we did not fly out here. We did not fly across the world for like one game and to be out. And he just like no, we're boycotted, whatever. And he like that was like my proudest moment.
And
that was like my favorite. That's like my favorite memory.
Did you play no game?
No,
they
like changed it.
Well, they put me
completely.
versus Effort, so same thing. But yeah.
Yeah, no, they changed it completely. We had a blast. We all got to play like 5 games, round robin.
Yeah. And he beat Boxer at that tournament.
Yeah. White Rod did too.
White Rod beat Boxer on TV, and then G5 played him off TV, so like no one knows. But yeah, he beat Boxer.
Yeah, you guys are all at lunch, and the only person
Was that
watching me was Idra.
2008, 9?
Yeah.
2008 or 9, yeah.
Yeah,
it was one of those
something like
things.
that. But
9,
yeah.
I think it was 2009 this summer.
I remember when I played Boxer, like, because it was off stage, like he was on the side where like all the people could watch, and so all the fans are watching him, and the only person behind me is Greg Idra, and after I beat him, I like turn. And you guys are all at lunch. I was expecting more people. I was kind of sad. It was just great.
Oh man!
But he's just like, yeah, typical Idris saying. He said something like, well, now these Korean Terrans get to see what us foreigners have to put up with all the time.
Oh gosh, just bring this.
Foreigner Protosses are way dirtier than Korean Protosses.
Yeah, no,
That's
I
a
mean,
true statement.
Like, I mean, there's this. I feel like there's this optical illusion that you'll get if you watch a lot of like top Korean pro streamers who play against each other like a lot, where they're not the dirty knife fights of the ladder of Brood Warrior, where you would be in a channel just having a fun time. Someone would be like 1v1, and you'd be like, yeah, sure, you don't know this person, you just play him, and they would just do the filthiest, cheesiest strategy possible, and you're like, for what? You're not going to earn ladder points? No one's going to. Replays don't exist yet. You just wanted to just do this vile, like that's where the Bulldog strategy came from.
Right?
That's what Bulldog did.
Yeah.
Such a good dog. Yeah, Barristan, you're very, very wet. I don't know how the dog's so wet, actually.
yeah.
God, good times, man.
I'm actually I'm happy I won. Don't get me wrong, but I told Peter, because he's known as the Wink Toss. I told him if he beat me, he came on here, he had to like look in the camera and give him a little.
Oh,
wink.
we'll have him on today.
He'll
he'll
have
be
a
over here
chance.
with us soon.
Oh,
Good
he
deal.
will be winking shortly.
Yeah.
Well, great. And I mean, that means that we're now in the
Round of 4.
We're in the round of 4, where things are heating up in this tournament, where there is no money on the line, and the winner gets the famous Day 9 no prize. Let's go ahead and take a look at those brackets.
That reminds me of most of the tournaments we ever played.
Yeah.
You mean there's no money on the line, but we're spending all of our time doing this? Yeah, no, that sounds great.
Gosh, I loved when you would just be in a channel and someone would be like, I'm running a 16-person 1v1 tournament on a piece of paper. Who wants
Get
to join?
all the best foreigners in that immediately.
Yeah, and it would like fill up. I mean, I did so many like for fun, just because Steven wanted to run a tournament.
Fame and
so
pride.
And Clan
That's what
Wars.
it's
And Nation
yeah,
Wars.
Nation
Dude,
Wars.
we would come up every time, man. Everyone shows up for every clan war, every
Yeah.
nation war, 0 prizes, run poorly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots
I
of
was,
raging. It was fun.
I'm really lucky
Getting
that
DT
like,
dropped by German players just nonstop. Germany B, just like 5
God,
DT
yeah.
droppers.
No, and every time it would be like, all right, Sean, you won the first map. It's going to be loser picks the next map. And loser's like, Hall of Valhalla. Just like every time. Oh, for God's sake, why is this map in the map pool?
Yeah.
That map was awful. It was an island map where the...
Kind of.
It was an island map.
It was an
You
island.
started
Yeah,
on
yeah,
an
you
island,
did.
and the closest thing to you was a mineral-only expansion
yeah.
that you had to fly to. I'm like, Zerg. I'm like, oh, awesome. This will help me build more Zerglings on the island map.
Yeah, I did like that map, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Float my
you
command
would.
center down.
Center, like, oh.
Have a siege tank on the high ground. Nothing can hurt me. Like,
I distinctly remember a game though where it was on that map, and Dan builds a command center. He lifts it and he lands at the mineral natural, and he starts building SCVs. Then he builds 2 barracks and lifts them and lands them on the low ground, so he has defense. And I got an Overlord and dropped him to his main base where there were no units. And then, like, I still remember in the replay, I see your barracks lift off and move. You're like,
oh my God.
Amazing.
I don't remember lifting them up to send them in the main, but what else was I to do?
no, and then like in the next game, you just fucking bunker rushed me, and I lost my hatch,
Yeah.
and it turned to one of those games where like you have an expansion, you have a bunker, you have like depot wall in front of the bunker and tank siege, and I'm like a 1-base Zerg with like 4 mutalisks, like boom, like trying to pick stuff off, just desperately trying to win with no hope. Oh, this is the
I
best.
love bunker
times.
rush mode for Artosis because that is not the style of Artosis
No,
in my
no.
mind. So when I see
Yeah.
him go bunker rush, I'm like, this guy's red in the face. and
I'm
he needs to
angry at
win.
that
But-
point, man.
No, he
Needs to
destroyed
win.
me that game too. But
Yeah.
it was like a 15-minute game where I was on one base and you just didn't attack.
When you get ahead, get more ahead, man.
When you get ahead, just curl up in your base with tanks, turrets, and never leave. It doesn't matter what the matchup is. You better do it.
I remember
That's
you played.
so me.
I remember
That's
you
what I
played.
sound like too.
Yeah, just like, hello, tasteless. I'm very excited for the GSL today. Oh man.
Oh, I remember you played one kid in New Hampshire land that was so bad. You just built a bunker like next to his Nexus and just walked Marines all the way across the map and threw them in there with the
On
game.
Tau Cross.
Yeah.
I had 11 racks in my main, and when I scouted him, I'm like, what? And I just started a bunker.
Land.
It was touching his Nexus.
It was
and I
literally
rallied Marines
touching
out
his
and killed
Nexus.
him.
Oh my god, that was the best. Is that like I remember in WCG 2004 in San Francisco, they had like 16 qualifiers all across the United States, and if you won one, you got a ticket, you got a free trip, free airfare, nothing else. There's no prize. Like you got like a, I don't know, like some RAM or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And the very first one was a Las Vegas qualifier that was announced like 48 hours before it was going to happen or something, or even like the day of it was announced. So some random, I think he was like 10, like a 10-year-old shows up and he's the only person there. so at the other 15 events, like it was all, the normal regional stuff. Like, Nick did the one in Texas, I did the one in Chicago, I think it was. And like, then when we got to those brackets, everyone was like, who's going to be up against the Las Vegas kid? Who's going to get that pairing against the Las Vegas kid? And it was you. You got matched versus the Las Vegas kid.
I remember like Bryce
I
going
don't
out
quite
to
remember,
like Vegas or something like back in the EG machine. He used to go out and like show up to those WCG regionals when like he knew like one other person would be there in top 2 goes, so he would just fly out and show up just so he'd qualify for the next round or US finals or something.
Yeah, dude, man, I remember all
Yeah,
the
we would divvy up actually where the qualifiers were. I remember like everyone would kind of talk to each other, and it's like, okay, I'm taking the Northeast one. Okay, there's one in North California and South California, like that type of thing. It was good times.
It was good.
great, man.
It was good.
So we're getting our next match set up. Of the winners matches, who's the next one going to be? It's G5 Nyokin versus White Raw Ret. We're doing
So
a
sick.
2v2.
Yes, I
Oh
should
my
go.
gosh. Okay, so you're.
I was like, I gotta go
Big Game
practice for
Hunters?
this.
Oh, it's on Big Game Hunters. Oh.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, by the way, if any of you are watching right now, and you,
Oh my god.
yeah, if any of you are watching right now and you're getting excited because you see us so pumped about Starcraft Remastered, or you're watching the sick nerd plays such as hiding bases and dropping people, I want you to just hop onto Starcraft, and for your first game, don't play 1v1. Play a team game. Play a 4v4. Look up Big Game Hunters. Look up the maps that have infinite money. BGH, Big Game Hunters. Play 2v2, v2v2s. Play free-for-alls. Play
Comp stomp.
Do comp stomps.
Comp stomp, yeah.
Comp stomps,
And then
man.
turn on your allies.
Yeah.
Don't click the allied victory
Yeah,
box.
don't do Allied Victory. Just like, do stuff like
And in fact, there's so many new players right now. This is what I used to do, right? Even when I was a very good player, I'd go into a comp stomp, And then I get everyone confused because these kids are all new. They're like all banding together against one computer on an infinite money map. And I'd be like, guys, purple's the computer. Attack purple. And the purple guy would be like, I'm not the computer. Stop. And I'm like, come on, guys, go get him. Dude, you're not. You're a computer. Like, oh, my God. It was.
That's crazy. This is a cool bot. Kill the computer. Like, I like that this is how I type on a keyboard, right? It's like a turntable. Yeah, no, just play the use map settings, which are the custom games that don't even really have base building. They're just, where tower defense came from. Because it's just fun to build stuff and to send an army around into battle and all that stuff. And 1v1's probably the most difficult, tense, hardcore version of that. But never get confused that the real fun in StarCraft is just hitting the buttons, man. It's just fun to build a base. It's just fun to build a strategy. Make some units and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Eventually get to 1v1. 1v1 can be a little unforgiving for your first few games, but I'm really glad we're doing a 2v2 with
I don't know.
tryhards.
Yeah. Bunch of tryhard nerds.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Before you guys played 1v1s, what did you play?
Comp-somps and
Yeah, BGH. And then I started joining the Lost Temple games, and I felt like a real pro. And then I was like, oh, I need to find the channels where the cool guys hang out. And I was like trying to figure out like Clan X17 or where are the cool guys. And then so started finding the channels. And I was like really scared, but I was like, anyone want a 1v1? And it's like nobody would 1v1 me. And then I was like, oh, wait, first you have to insult someone. So they have honor to defend. Yeah. And then you can 1v1 them. And either you embarrass yourself or you win, and you like climb up the social ladder, so to speak. And then that was the cool thing about Brood Wars. Like there was like a social networking. Yeah. Like you had to engage. Like it wasn't just the matchmaking. So it was really cool. That's how we built our community.
It's very true too. And StarCraft 1 takes so long to become good at. Like for instance, I remember when you were coming up. I remember when I started seeing the player ID Noni popping into channels, and like I remember I even played you a few times when you still weren't quite at the top level, and I'd just be like, he's a pretty good USA Protoss. Yeah. And eventually you became better than everyone. But it was really cool because there was no surprises on who got good, really. It's like you saw him come, you saw him grinding every day, and you saw him getting better over time.
Yeah, I think that in the Foreigner scene, the only player that I've ever seen kind of go from 0 to hero.
Cole?
Who?
Oh, I thought you were going to say Cole as a player, if I had to guess one. Anyways, go ahead.
Who's Cole?
The German Zerg.
Oh, K-O-L-L-L. Yeah, who's like, I've been playing for 6 months, and I'm B+, and that means you're reference. Yeah, I was just thinking C-O-L-E, like there's some guy like, Cole Johnson. And what about the good old Cole Johnson, the tale of Cole?
No, who is it? Who's it, though?
Blackman PG from Poland.
Oh, yeah.
He went 0 to hero. He went from no one had ever heard of him, goes to WCG, dominates his group, gets 3rd place the entire event.
He was like a recluse, though. He didn't do the community stuff at all, almost.
Yeah.
Every time he played, it was like a Smurf, and they were like, I think that's Blackman, and he would never even confirm it himself.
Yeah, he was a very different type of guy.
He was one of those guys where if you like Googled pictures of him, there's like one event where I think it was WCG, where he did show up, and people were like, oh, you're him, and never again.
Very few pictures of people back then.
It was a small community, though. The Foreigner scene in Brood War was always very small. Of the people that like put themselves out there and really competed, so everyone knew who everybody was.
Yeah, it's just a few hundred grinders.
I liked it because I could, at like 13 years old, I was relatively familiar with like the Ukraine and in different Belarus.
Yeah.
I knew flags. I knew, generally speaking, because we would talk to them, we'd hang out. So at a very young age, I was experiencing world travel and in a very different way, obviously.
Yeah, it was interesting that at every single ladder, it was always your nation's flag and your name, and
it was important to people.
Yeah,
because it was a community within a community. Everyone knew who the German scene was always my favorite for the reason that their national team, you could challenge anyone on the team, and if you beat them, you took their spot, and that was how their team was made. And then Mondragon like rose up as the young 13-year-old in that team that like could not be beaten until he was captain. And I was like, that sounds like a barbaric horde, but in a really cool way.
That's like Shadow of Mordor, the team structure. Cool. Yeah. I mean, and the thing that was so cool about the ladders, too, where you could click on the flag, and then it would show you the ladder of just those players. It'd be like, here's the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 German player. And you just sort of go, oh, well, I want to be the best American, right? I might
Yeah.
not be the best player, but I want to be the #1 spot on that American ladder list.
It mattered, and you could tell too back then as well. Like now, you have to do a little bit of work to figure out who's the best. And I mean, you know, there's some countries where it's super obvious, like NEEB for American stuff like that. But back then, it was a little bit more. You know, you had those rankings for that ladder, but then people were like, "Yeah, but," and Dan would be quick to remind you, "I haven't seen you at an event. I haven't seen you at a LAN, the 2 that we have a year. So until you do that, you know."
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jeff is talking about himself. Took a long time to show up to a LAN. It was cool though when you did, and you swept through and did fine. But
To
LAN
that
is where
LAN.
it counts, man. That's
I was thinking when Sean was talking about it, actually 2005 or I think it was 2005. I won my qualifier for
and then you
WCG
didn't come.
because they didn't give you a ticket. I was a kid in high school with no money, and they're like, "Yeah, get yourself to Los Angeles from Seattle." And I was
Got to
like,
pawn your mom's TV. You didn't care enough.
"Fair enough." I mean, I didn't. I beat LJT, man.
Dude, LJT never showed up to anything. That was the only event, and then neither of you came.
Yep.
Which means you're hackers, by the way. If you don't show up, you're a hacker.
What does he look like?
He's a Chinese man, about this big.
He was really old too. He was like already 30 years old back then.
Yeah, but I mean, he looked incredible. So
Yeah.
he's good.
Gosh, no,
Yeah.
LJT was great.
What
LJT was
it was
I met
the
Magoo
map
in
pool
real
then?
life.
You remember the map pool? Because there was the one where it was your main, down a ramp, all the way over here was your natural.
Jungle Story.
Yeah, that was tough.
Well, it didn't even have a ramp. Yeah, there was Jungle Story and wasn't Gaia. There's another map.
Oh,
was
at
just
that time?
garbage. Yeah, it was like Gorky
God.
Island.
Oh, Gorky was amazing.
Oh, yes.
I
Gorky
played
Park
Terran.
was just.
All right.
I Goliath dropped because
Yeah.
you could not play Zerg.
Yeah.
Excellent. It's the Infinite Money map. Now, if you look at the top right, that is the team setup, top versus bottom. It's Ret White Ra versus G5 Nyokin. It's the media kids versus the non-media kids. I mean, we're all 30 here, but, you know, they're kids.
As always.
Now, this is Big Game Hunters. You start with 2 gas geysers. You have a million mineral patches. Oh, we're gonna get Legionnaire.
A personnel swap.
Yes, Peter Nate.
I am
Welcome to
here.
the sofas.
Yep, I'm on the loser's couch now.
That's what hosts aspire to be, is to be so bad they don't even let us play, and we just get to sit here the entire time.
You lost good though. It was a good series.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I played well. Like the Python game, I was quite happy with because he was falling into my trap of the hidden base down the bottom left. So my entire plan was to cancel my natural, hide the base, make him think he was ahead,
More ahead than he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then just fight over the top right island, which he would be going for.
Yeah.
But then I lost my shuttle. I was doing a white Ra. You know, I just kept suiciding them, and it's the little mechanics like that. It's a difference between theory and execution, really.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
It's fun that it takes a while to get it back, though, because I remember watching all of our games back in the day, and those shuttles didn't die like that. They felt like they were pretty
I know,
invincible.
Yeah.
But in this tournament, I'm like, shuttles suck. They hover there for 1 second, and the 8 Dragoons fire, and it's just gone.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I rewatched an old replay of myself, and I'm like, well, never going to be this good. That's it. I peaked. It's all downhill from here. I was really amazing that I was able to do this. Go me. High five, Sean. I don't know, maybe what I'll do is I'll just give up all other obligations in life
Yeah.
and just grind Brood War 80 hours a week.
Well, that's where the money's at, too, you know?
Now, how are these players going to play out their Big Game Hunters matches? Like, we got G5, who's isolated over here. We have Nyokin, who's isolated down at the bottom.
Well, I feel bad for the Zerg.
Did we make this a 10-minute no rush? Was that
I
one of
don't
the rules
think so.
they applied?
No, it's
Oh,
all-
No, they're Russian.
nah, that's
good old
disgraceful.
no
Try
Russian
tryhards here.
Do they not know how to play Big Game Hunters?
You play Protoss, maybe Theron.
No, you got to cannon up and go carriers.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Dude, my favorite is going Mass Scout. You should expand and go 6 Stargate Scout.
You would have loved. I played a guy in ladder yesterday. He like we had this huge epic game base swap. He takes the other main in the natural. I'm like, what's going on in there? So Stargates and Corsairs block my overlords. And then like 10 minutes later, 12 scouts come out of there, and I'm like, oh my god. And they had their moment. They picked off a base, then they got plagued and killed by like 5 hydras, and it's like, all right. That's why people don't do that, man.
All right, beautiful defense by Rhett.
The guy was listening to the stream yesterday.
Yeah.
He heard about the stove. He was like, well, if one scout's good, imagine what 10 of them are.
Multiples.
Yeah.
What if I caught him going? What is the big fat Zerg flyer? Gosh.
Devourer?
Devour. That's right.
Yeah, dude.
I second guess myself.
I practiced so much Island Zerg.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so this has no relevancy to what we're seeing right now, but the way a Devourer works is that it has a very low attack speed. It does a pretty big chunk of damage up front, but overall damage output is very, very low. But the unit it hits and all the nearby units get what are called
spores, I think.
Like acid spores, I think, or corrosive spores.
Something like that.
And it means that any time something deals damage to it, it's base damage plus however many spores there are.
Sean, I did not know that. I'm not even kidding you.
Yeah.
I did not know that. No, I'm actually being serious. Like, I've asked people, I had no idea. I know that it reveals you as well if you're cloaked. God,
Yeah,
I had no idea.
It reveals if you're cloaked, but like if you have 5 acid spores, you take 5 extra damage every time you're hit. And
Did you
so,
all know that, Tyler?
Yeah,
That you were
I
laughing?
knew that.
You knew
Yeah,
that?
and
I knew
so
Bryce, you knew that? Wow.
My games went beyond 2 lurkers on a ramp, so
Oh,
I encountered these
geez.
things.
Wow, you just got here today and you picked
Yikes.
right up on the meme. That's excellent.
Tyler, Jiminy Christmas.
But this means that you only want like 5 or 6 Devourers,
Yeah.
and then you want all the rest Mutalisks. And most top Zergs just didn't do this. They would morph everything into Devourers. And yeah, it was just really awesome to play against some people who just didn't know those mechanics. So you just like ensnare, Devour, and just kill with tons of Mutalisks and just
That was
dominate.
the funny combos. If you could land all the spells on the one thing, you're like, well, this is mega overkill, but it feels good.
Yeah, Plague, Acid, Spore, and Ensnare. Okay, so anyways, in this game, players are building up, but it looks like no one is actually preparing to do any big significant rush. I mean, there's going to be this kind of pressure, but we see G5 has sort of turtled himself up. He's got to get some Dragoons out. Got to keep making probes until his economy kicks into gear, and Zergs have the hardest time on big game hunters because you need to build units or drones. So trying to find that right balance so that you can get to like 7 hatcheries is...
But also the late game, like their options later is like, here's the Guardians. Like, well, I want carrier, and it just it doesn't seem as impactful. So
Yeah, Zerg sucks on infinite money maps, frankly.
It does.
But that's what makes it fun, man. Because, I mean, look at this map. This map is a mess. There's no symmetry. Like, some bases share a natural expansion. Some have tiny mains. Like, the top left area is, like, super tiny. It's, like, very hard to fit all your supply depots there. If you're Terran, you have to build command centers and lift them off into the corner to get enough supply. And, I mean, this is just what makes big game hunters fun. It's just crazy and
I can't believe we wasted our
unfair.
time, though, because, like, you'd play, like, let's grab 4 or 5 of us and play a free-for-all. And then there's the one guy top left and everyone else is bottom right. They're having like a war for 25 minutes. The guy top left's on 4 bases, and
I
just
know.
like,
That's what makes
hey,
it so
you guys
fun.
did good. And shows up with just maxed out carriers. I win now.
God. Those are my favorite games ever, though. That, like, guys, there's someone at the far corner, and all the 3 know how this game pans out, so they all just bum rush the guy in the top left, and he's like, what is going on?
What did I do?
Why is there so much hatred for the top left peoples? Can I get a water, by the way? Have I earned the right to water?
Barrison will bring it for you.
What a good boy. He's such a good boy. Oh, thank you, Bryce.
This is already a bit more interesting than the last game. The last game that we did on the that was just hunters, but still, it was like 2 people got mauled from the very beginning. So then it was just over. 2 on the same team, by the way.
I'm surprised this is going so evenly, because red and brown are a little bit separated, so they should have been cut off a little bit more, and one of them probably should have died.
Yeah, right now it's the media boys versus the non-media boys. So it's Rhett White Raw versus G5 Nyoken.
You know why this game's going longer? Is because Artosis is not in it, destroying everybody. That was incredible.
God, Artosis truly is just the pinnacle of Terran capability.
Do you know he casts as well? Yeah.
Oh,
Multi-talented.
Tank's getting picked off. Rhett showcasing Dem Mutas. I love how long range tanks are in this game. They shoot like a screen and a quarter.
Freaking arc light shock cannon. They weren't messing around when they made that.
Oh, isolated Marine. Oh, but here comes G5, who's bombing in on Rhett. And White Raw's going to try to defend his friend.
It is tough positioning, ever you pointed that out, though. If it's brown and red like that, that is rough.
But I think, you know, brown and red are both doing the smart things, which is to play for, like, big, slower, sturdier compositions.
Yep.
Have good defense, get the tanks up.
Nice little warm-up, too, because after this we have G5 versus Nyoken, and that was at least one WCG USA Finals, by the way. I know that G5 Didn't G5 win his championship over Nyoken? I believe he did.
Yeah, it did.
Didn't Nyoken win one too, though, Dan? He never did?
I don't think Nyoken's ever won. He is the fantasy of the USA scene.
Oh. Came close.
White is just giving up his base, just trying to harass Terran while he's dying.
Typically, Zergs just slowly fall behind unless they get a lot of momentum, but damn. Rhett's doing pretty good Mutalisk control. He's picked off almost all the medics.
He's patriotic, though. He's helping out his teammate.
Yeah. Team player, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I'd be like, stuff that guy. I'm just saving myself.
He can lend his overlords as detection, though, by the way. It's a nice little element that he's helping.
Tanks are insanely good on this map because there's like so many narrow corridors and so many weird places where you can just exploit siege a tank up. It can hit 4 different paths.
Well, there's also expansions you can take that like reaches the mineral line of your opponent as well.
Nyoken's kind of dead. Like, the Mutas can just sit on top of the racks now. I mean, he can't attack the mineral line because of the turrets, but how is he ever going to get a critical mass of Marines at this point?
It's going to be tough.
There's no help coming from G5.
He just doesn't care, does he?
He's going 50 gate Protoss. He's going man toss. What's going on at White Rod's base? We haven't taken a look there. I think White Rod has a ton of gates. He's just getting all his tech up. He's got an expansion up. Oh, he's getting a Dark Archon.
Nice.
Yes. It's the Dark Archon. Oh no. Oh, this is always such bad news. Oh no. The main.
You should just scan the Mutas and then leave the game. That's what I would do.
Has anyone explained the Dark Archon to the noobs out there?
The Dark Archon is
we need a tasteless for that, I think.
It is a powerful psionic support unit on Protoss. It has
it is completely useless.
It has 3 abilities.
Until mega late game and you realize you
Yeah.
have 9 of them and your opponent's like, oh no.
Yeah, so they have feedback, which is mana burn. Right, you deal damage to a unit proportional to how much mana it has, and it consumes all the mana. There's no limit to it.
So great burst Templars, great burst Defilers, that sort of stuff.
It has Maelstrom, which is an area of effect stasis for biological units only, aka all Zergs.
But only for a short time. Pretty good burst Ultras.
And they can be
that's about it.
damaged while it happens.
Short for StarCraft. Like, you play a MOBA, you're like, oh my god, a 2.5 second stun. I mean, I think it's 10 seconds. It's a 10-second area stun. 8 seconds, something like that. And then the last one is Mind Control, which is you spend 150 mana and all of your shields, and you gain control of a unit permanently.
And it's range. It's like got decent range. It's instantaneous.
Yeah. So in super long Protoss versus Protosses, that's the most frequent place you'll see them to feed back enemy Templar, enemy Mind Control, enemy Carriers, and Arbiters.
It's one of those things where that's where I look too, where there are just incredible imbalances in Brood War, but it was like
Everyone had
the
their own.
flow of the game and everything. There's a lot of imbalances, and maps were generally really good that made it what it was.
Yeah.
But just on paper, like 10 Dark Archons, because they're tanky too. It's not like you can pick them off before they do it. They're gonna mind control something.
Yeah, I mean...
So if you have battle cruisers, there's 10 battle
Oh,
cruisers.
the flanks! Oh my god! Oh, Storms on the Dragoons. Oh my god, Ling Storm. Zealot Muta.
Those are
many
some Dragoon
combinations. Yeah.
I do like how Nyoken was dead. He didn't leave the game, and he's still helping out his
the
ally
scan,
with the scan, yeah.
I'll do what I can, friend.
Oh man. This is why you go Mass Scout, man. You can never just deal with all that Mutalisk garbage. Got a Mass Scout, man.
What used to happen too back in the day, if you did play BGH, is like one of the players it was like 3v3. One of them would be like, "All right, you go Corsairs to shut down the Zerg," and you'd go 3 Stargate Corsair or whatever, and just be like, "You're never gonna have Overlords. If you go Mutas, that's a mistake. I'll get a fleet beacon and then I'll shut down your stack defenses for the extra hilarity."
You have 15 drones. You have to morph 1 into an Evo chamber and 11 into Spore colonies.
Oh,
He's trying to steal an SCV so he can build Terran units.
All right, let's see if he can pull off the clutch mind control.
Get it?
He could just take his teammate's drone though.
But that's not as punishing. I mean, you don't want to have more Zergs in this game. Zerg's just the worst.
I think at this point it's not to win; it's to make fun of your opponent.
Yeah. Oh,
And actually on BGH, it doubles your supply cap, by the way. Oh, which is kind of interesting. Here we go.
all right. Oh, he gets it. All right, mind controls a Dragoon. That's so not good. That's a terrible play. That's extremely inefficient and wasteful. But G5's going to continue to grind and try. His pride is on the line. Uh-oh.
Infested.
Yeah,
Command center.
go there.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's an infested command center. Excellent. You're playing BGH properly.
That looks so cool.
That is a Zerg building now.
Yeah, if an enemy command center gets below half health, a queen can touch it and infest the command center, and then you can build a unit called the Infested Terran.
Oh, there we
Which
go.
deals, let's see
There
how
we
much
go.
damage it deals. 500. It one-shot supply depots.
They weren't messing around with that. It's like, you know what? In StarCraft 2, let's dial it back. Let's just give him a Gauss rifle.
You understand? It's just like, it'll cost 25 energy, it'll shoot, it can't move.
Pew, 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 pew.
And this, they were like, I don't know, let's just you build it and it deals 500 damage? 500? 500? Seems good. And everyone's like, yeah.
What's the
500.
next most damage? Is it the arc light cannon, or no? It's a nuke, I guess.
It's a Yamato at 250.
Well, what's a nuke do?
I think it's like area of 600 damage or something, but it's explosive.
Dispersed through all of it?
No, it's 600 to every single unit in
Oh,
the
wow.
blast, but I think it does like half damage to large units or something
Okay.
weird, like some units can withstand it.
Because that makes sense. And Ultra's just like a stern wind.
Of
It's like,
course.
oh wow, what was that? Someone nuked here.
I'm telling you, man, we need to make the
How's this
RTS
game
where
still going?
every unit idea makes it in.
Yeah.
It's a unit called the anti-nuker. If you nuke it, it heals. It's healed with nuclear energy.
You can't transfer money to allies in this game, can you?
Nope.
No.
So if you're dying, like Neokin, make sure you save up 400.
Yeah, Nyokin is slowly losing money. I think he's just going to be trying to repair stuff. So G5 is going to basically go for... God, that must be so satisfying if you're red to actually just get infested Terrans for once.
There it is. Is that a bunch of Dark Archons?
Master.
DA.
Dark Archon. For any of you, oh my gosh, there's actually so many Dark Archons.
If you would have told some people a few years ago that almost 30,000 people would be watching a BGH 2v2, they would have laughed.
Actually, let's see how many viewers we got right now. I'm opening up the stream on my phone.
They've all left. We're down under 100.
Oh, look at that. It's about 25,000. Well, guys, the infamous Pride-only tournament will be continuing shortly here, so let everyone
Basically,
know.
as soon as G5 gets out of this game.
He did promise to do one last attack, but he has not mobilized yet.
Well, so far it's not a broken promise. He's like, it will come. I didn't say when. Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Surprise
so
Corsairs!
This is the big moment. See, G5's actually building good units. He's trying to do like a Zealot Dragoon core with a bunch of Corsairs to rip up all the flyers. All right, he's parasited. Uh-oh.
The most underused spell across
Nyokin
all,
is gonna. He's
Why?
Nyokin
all
lift
StarCraft.
off.
Restoration. You guys remember Restoration?
Oh my gosh! Yeah, removes negative debuffs, of which there really are not any negative debuffs in the game.
Parasite, man.
Blinding flare.
Pull that Parasite right out. Blinding Flare was up there too, you're right.
Yeah.
Whenever I got hit by that, it took me like several moments to realize. I'd like look at my guy and be like, this is bugged. I'd be like, oh, wait a second.
Oh,
He
there
had to
it is.
upgrade it, for Pete's sake.
There's
That's
Maelstrom.
Maelstrom.
Look at how long that's locked down MOBA players. Look at that. There's a stun right there.
So the Corsairs won the Muta battle. White Rod doesn't have any fighting units.
He does.
He could mind control half his army.
Oh, Rhett's down to 30 supply. You know G5 is trying as hard as he can right now. You can't lose. Uh-oh.
Corsair DT. Their only detection was Overlords.
Yeah, that's what the DTs are.
Oh my god, look, Nyokin has walled off reinforcements on the left. Look at that.
Red's at 30 supply.
I like how Nyokin's talking through his contribution too. He's like, guys,
Yeah.
PS.
I walled in here. That's what I can do.
for someone who died half an hour ago, he's doing a pretty good job.
You should be able, if you infest a CC that's attached to a comsat, you should get an infested comsat. It doesn't scan things, but it like says bad stuff about it.
It just drops creep somewhere on the map.
You can't build there now. So Rhett's dead.
Rhett actually died. Now Whiterun needs to stop goofing off. Pull it together, man. See, this is why big game hunters games are the best, is you think, let me try to win with Dark Archons, and then you start to lose with Dark Archons, and then you're like, oh no, how do I get out of this one? And that's fun.
He has no detection, though. He needs to Maelstrom the TTs. Does that reveal them?
Yeah. Maelstroming an invisible unit does reveal it.
Okay.
Yeah, most of StarCraft's pretty straightforward stuff, just shoot stuff, but it has its own little quirky rules. Sound like a card game player. Well, Maelstrom goes onto the stack.
Nao can rock in that 4 supply, by the way. I wish we could see what the 4 supply is.
Yeah, like
4 SCVs at the top right.
There they are. We will return. We will come again. So right now, it's actually White Raw versus G5.
There's a little bit of red there. Right?
God, look at his layers squirting. Someone get this guy a Band-Aid. Look at that. Look at that effect. That is way more gruesome than the original layer, man. Oh my gosh.
The larva's just getting a bath.
Yeah, it's actually super moist there, man. Oh, another expansion coming out for G5, and you might say on an infinite money map, why would one ever expand? Well, you want the rate of income sufficient so that you can have like 20 gateways churning. Yeah, Whiteraw's not messing around. He's going DT, Zealot, Dragoon, trying to pick off everything. And Corsairs to kill the enemy observers? I mean, you've said that like 4 times now and it only registered now.
Synergy, man.
Synergy.
And there's that missile turret, by the way, from Neokin.
Oh my god!
Is that infested Terran?
Yeah.
Yeah, only one popped.
Brood War Banelings.
Yeah, I mean, if they die, they don't deal any damage, so they actually do have to connect.
You can burrow him too, man.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Best turns do have burrow.
There's even a there's a mission in the campaign where they pop up and run at you. It was frustrating because that you never knew how bad pathing in Brood War was until you played that mission. Oh, there he is. I'll shoot him. What are you doing? You're like, no. All right, restart. Because I'm a 12-year-old kid and time in the day doesn't matter.
I save every 2 minutes.
Just try it again. I want that Cinemagra.
So White Raw's at 201 supply.
201 at 217. He's mind-controlled a Zerg unit, and he's rebuilding. And right now he's trying to defend for Rhett. And I mean, it's looking really good for White Raw. It's looking really good for Team Non-Media right now.
From the shadows we strike. Damn it, they can see us.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I'm excited because right now there's observers being picked off. So what's going to happen is White Raw's going to upgrade observer speed and make like 4 robo observer.
Yeah, that's so fun about big game hunters. You just get these like endless huge battles. I mean, because like if this were a proper game, you'd be talking about efficiency and keeping units alive and stuff. I mean, right now it is about amount of production structure momentum that you can gain. And there it is. It's the GG. He can't break through. White Raw and Rhett win! GG!
Good job, Europeans. Who won the
Lucky spots.
Well, no, I guess Americans won the other one. Or who was on Dan's team? There's Dan.
I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, it was Team Artosis
He carried him.
who won Q2 Q'd his
Q
way to
attack,
victory.
yeah. Q attack on
Yeah,
that.
he had Rhett changed Artosis' hotkeys so that Q was attack, but medics still healed on A, so he'd have to go like 1 Q2 Q3A. I don't even know what that is.
But he underestimated Dan's like stubbornness. Dan was just like, no, I'm doing it. And then he did it. He made it work.
Very well. So now we're actually going to be doing one of the winners bracket proper matches, which I believe will be Nyokin G5. They lost in the 2v2.
Oh, yeah.
And now they will face to determine the true last place. Actually, they'll be playing for a chance to get into the grand final.
Yeah, the winner that's in a pretty good spot.
And this is a best of 5 now.
Are they doing losers brackets again?
No, it's just
Nope.
this
So
is
it's
it.
just
It's a best of 5,
you
a
lose
best
this,
of
you're
5,
out.
and then a best of 5.
No third place match either.
No.
Now,
Because there's no money. Who cares?
yeah, I know. And gosh,
What's your predictions? Who do you think?
You know, I just want to state for the record, if you have a troop of friends at LAN that you play with or on a Discord, you guys got to do in-house tournaments.
I knew he was going to answer my question. I knew that was coming.
I mean,
he was
words
like,
came
I just
out of
have
your
to
mouth,
say,
and they just
forget what he
didn't
said.
register in the slightest.
I'm going to do it back to you. You're going to
know
be like, guys, I got a question for you. I'm like, does anybody else like pizza? Pizza, anybody?
As long as it doesn't have pineapple on it. Like, why ruin a perfectly good pizza by putting some pineapple on it?
I like pineapple on it. I don't mind it.
Well, you guys should 1v1 and figure out who's right.
That's a good point, yeah.
In pizza eating, I'd win that one for sure.
No, in Brood War, you have to solve everything with a 1v1 in Brood War.
Street basketball.
You think pineapple tastes good on pizza? Let's go. 1v1 Python, 4-pool. I 4-pool and win, and I'm like, that's right, pineapple lover. Oh, man. Okay, so Jeff, what was your question? You asked me something.
I was trying to talk about the brackets. Who we think's going to win?
Well, between Nyoken and G5,
Nyoken's done the most practice, from what I
probably
hear.
Nyoken.
Nyoken probably the superior player right now, but G5 can beat any Terran on the planet at any moment. So
Yeah.
I'd say it's very close.
Yeah. And G5 beat me, so therefore I have to support him, because if
Right.
he goes a long way, it means
makes you
I'm
look better.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
I'm rooting for Nyoken. Go Nyoken, Yahoo. Between Draco and Rhett, that I think will be really, really, really close, because Draco is specifically preparing for some PvZs, I think. I'm trying to make eye contact with him, but he's not reciprocating, so can't get any tells.
And I think Rhett might have a little bit of a mental block against Draco. I think he's had some issues beating him in the past, so
Yeah.
we'll have to see how it goes.
Draco was a real monster in PvZ. He was stressful as hell to play against. He
was
would
very good.
Fast.
Yeah, he played really fast, because there's broadly speaking, there's units that are sort of fast and good at breaking positions, things like Zealots or Zerglings. There's the more muscular units that are sort of good for rounding out a composition, like Dragoons and Hydrals. They're sort of like okay against everything. And of course, your big power units like your High Templar, your positional units like your Lurkers and Reavers. And like a lot of Protoss players eventually get to a point where they're like, Dragoons are great. I want to get Dragoons. I want to just like do some stuff and get a nice army and then get some Templar and feel strong. But he would just build lots of Zealots and Archons and be attacking a lot earlier and a lot more aggressively. And Protosses would do that, but then they would back off and transition into Dragoons. But he would like expand again and keep making these efficient, fast units. And it made it just hard to play against him. And I mean, you saw the same sort of style in his PvPs, where he's building Zealots and Dragoons and attacking, expanding, attacking, getting a few Reavers, but not going overly hard on the teching route. Just stressful.
I haven't seen that many PvZs of like Modern Brood War right now. I'm starting to kind of get back into it and watch it more, but at least last when we were all playing competitively, it was like just speed lots everywhere, very fast, early. Like I remember taking your third at destination, double hatching there and blocking it in, and you would just get the Sunkens in by the time speed lots were already coming in on you. And you were at Hydra Tech, but not like you didn't have a massive amount of Hydras. And we were talking about that IEF term earlier. That's where Bisu, I played Bisu. I've never seen Zealots like that. That was incredible. It wasn't even that he had 400 of them. It was like everyone that showed up was doing exactly what they're supposed to do at the worst time, and I got destroyed.
It feels like the Zerg is trying to kind of incrementally expand, build their economy and tech, while the Protoss is going for like more of a smooth power curve of being like constantly aggressive. And so the best Protoss and what I think Draco will be able to do is have that smooth power curve of like, no, I'm not going to just sit back and wait for you to set up your defense. I'm going to have things in your face constantly.
Yeah, and I think this is sort of like the Bisu is known for his Corsair DT. But more recently, he's known for Corsair Zealot, which is like you build the really fast units that are very good against Zerglings and very good against air.